Alright guys, we're going to look at one more situation with solving inequalities, and that's the situation of when we have variables on both sides. So a little note is when there are variables on both sides, we should get rid or eliminate the smaller amount in order to avoid multiplying or dividing by a negative number. Multiplying, dividing. So again, when we have variables on both sides, we want to eliminate or get rid of the smaller amount in order to avoid multiplying or dividing by a negative number. It's very similar to with equations. Our hint was to eliminate the smaller variable to make it easier. Same thing here, eliminating the smaller variable will allow us to avoid multiplying or dividing by a negative number and having to reverse our inequality symbol. So let's look at an example of what that looks like and the difference between the two. So we're going to solve 6x minus 5 is less than 2x plus 11 in two ways. So the first way we have is 6x minus 5 is less than 2x plus 11. So the first thing we're going to do is, in this example, we're going to go ahead and eliminate our smaller variable, which is 2x. That's going to leave us with 4x minus 5 is less than 11. I'm going to go ahead and add 5 to both sides. Leaving me with 4x is less than 16. I'm going to go ahead and divide 4 on both sides to undo this multiplication, leaving me with x is less than positive 4. So that's one way. That's the way in which we eliminated our smaller variable first. Now let's go ahead and look at what happens when we decide to eliminate our larger variable. So in this example, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate my 6x by subtracting 6x from both sides. That's going to give me negative 5 equals negative 4x plus 11. Here I'm going to go ahead and subtract 11 from both sides, and that's going to leave me with negative 16 is less than negative 4x. Now again, this is multiplication, but we're multiplying by negative 4, which means to undo that, I have to divide both sides by a negative 4. And since I'm dividing both sides by negative, I'm going to have to reverse my inequality symbol. So notice my inequality symbol is originally less than, but once I divide it by a negative number, I'm going to have to reverse my symbol, so now it's greater than. So you can see eliminating our smaller variable allows us to avoid the case in which we have to divide by a negative and the case in which we have to reverse our inequality symbol. Let's look at a few more examples. So we have 8b 2b minus 3 less than 4, 2b plus 3. So we have 8b minus 3. On the right side, I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So 4 times 2b is 8b, and 4 times positive 3 is 12. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate my 8b on the right side by subtracting 8b from both sides. That's going to leave me, these are going to cancel, leaving me with a negative 3. These are going to cancel, leaving me with a positive 12. So negative 3 is greater than 12. This right here is a false statement, meaning just like our equations, we are left with no solution. So when we are left with no variables and a false statement, we also will have no solution when solving inequalities. All right, let's look at one example, another one. We have 2 times 5w minus 1 is less than or equal to 7 plus 10w. I'm going to go ahead and distribute these. So 10w minus 2 is less than or equal to 7 plus 10w. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate my 10w on the right by subtracting 10w on both sides. The 10w minus 10w will cancel, leaving me with negative 2 is less than 7, since these will cancel as well. Negative 2 is less than or equal to 7. That is a true statement. That means that our solution is going to be all real numbers. So just like with equations, how it was infinitely many solutions, that's the same thing as saying infinitely many real numbers or all real numbers. I'll give you guys a second to pause and make sure we have this all written down before we move on to our last real life problem. All right, let's go ahead and look at how this can be applied to real life. So for our real life problem, let's say you have $20 and save $8 per week. And now let's suppose your sister has $16 and also saves $8 per week. When will she have more than you? When will she have more than you? So let's go ahead and break down our problem one more time so we can see exactly what we know, what we don't know, and what kind of inequality we're trying to build. So our first step is we're going to identify our unknown. So our unknown, we want to know how many weeks it takes for your sister to save more money than you. All right? You guys are each saving a certain amount per week, so we want to know how many weeks it will take for her to have more money than you. So our unknown is how many weeks it will take your sister to save more money. And we do need to assign a variable to our unknown. I'm just going to go ahead and call W for the number of weeks. All right. Now we can go ahead and build our blueprint. So our blueprint is going to be, we're asking, our end goal is to know that your sister has more money than you. So in the end, it's going to be your money should be less than her money, right? And your money, that's going to be the money you already have plus the money saved per week is going to be less than the money she has already plus the money she saves per week. All right. So now we have our blueprint for our inequality, and now we can start plugging in the values that we know to actually build the inequality that we're looking for. So the money you have, our problem tells us that you already have $20. And it also tells us that you're going to save $8 per week. Remember that word per means we're multiplying the number 8 by every week that you're saving. So that's going to give us 8W. And that's going to be less than the number, the money she has, and it tells us she has $16. Plus the money she saves per week is also $8 per week. Now I'm going to go ahead and solve this by eliminating my 8W on the right side. And I'll do that by subtracting 8W from both sides. 8W minus 8W will cancel, leaving me with $20 is less than, again, these will cancel, leaving me with $16. 20 is less than 16. This is a false statement, meaning that we have no solution. So you can say that our solution set is there is no solution. We have no solution set. And what this means, you guys, in the context of this problem, is that it is not possible for your sister to have or save more money than you.